Hi guys, I just want to pop on here real quick to tell you what you can do with if you have a bunch of onions or bell peppers or these little cayenne peppers or Tabasco peppers, whatever you have. You can, I was going to show you some ways that you can preserve them so you don't just have to, leave them set around until they get rotten or old or anything. You can always, what I did here is I put these in the dehydrator and I dehydrated them, and these taste so good when they're dehydrated. Here we have the red or the purple onion. This onion I like to use on pickled onions. My daughter gave me the best red pickled onion recipe you ever want to try. I'll have to make a video on that one day. And I also like to use these on salads. And next you have your yellow onion, which usually is referred to as a cooking onion. It's really good in sauces and stir fries, stews, soups, anything that you slow cook. The yellow onion is Here really is the good. White onion, which this one is the crunchiest and it has the most strongest taste to me. It has like a zing to it, and in my opinion this is the best to use for salsa. Now I have won quite a few first place salsa contests, and this is the secret that I'm sharing with you, is lots of white onion, and it's really good in any kind of relish type recipe. And next you have your green onions. Another name for green onions are called scallions. They're literally the same thing. And another tip I wanted to give you, when you're growing onions, these little sprigs, the green parts that come up, determines, now on regular onions like your white and your purple and your green, the tops of these are going to be bigger, and I think the ideal amount you want to have is 13. The more of these that you have growing on the top, the bigger the bulb will be on your onion. So these scallions or green onions are different than what they call shallots. The shallots would have a bigger bulb. I don't know if you can see, but the shallot's bulb will be bigger on the end than the green onions. And the shallots are a little different than the scallions or green onions because they're a little bit more uniform. The bulbs are bigger and they actually have a sharper bite to them. And on these scallions or green onions, the bulbs are much smaller than on the shallots. I usually call them the same thing, but they're not, because these green onions have a much milder taste to them. And actually this is what I usually use, is the green onions or the scallions, but they you can cook with them interchangeably, so they're pretty much, to me, about the same. I'm not a master class chef, I'm more of a home cook, so this is what I do. And you also have the Funyun. I chop these up and then I'll put them in little Ziploc freezer bags and put them in the freezer. Just chop them up and crunch them up and put them in there. And you can also do that not just with your onions, but with different vegetables like your peppers. And with these peppers, like any kind of pepper that I have, I always will save the seeds for and plant them again for the next year. So you can see here how I just take the seeds off, and then I will dry them out and save them for when I'm ready to plant them. Another thing that I want to do is I want to show you this a red chow chow that I made. I made it with the red peppers and these green peppers and some tomatoes and onions, and it's really delicious. So as you can see, I have quite a bit of pepper seeds saved up. I'm just going to dry these out a little bit, and then I'm going to store them up for when I'm ready to plant my spring garden. I've been looking through some of these remedies on how to cut an onion without crying, but do they really work? let's try a few and we shall see. Where your eyes won't water. I've tried the open flame, works a little bit. A wet paper towel, supposed to absorb the chemicals instead of your eyes. I've also tried a glass of water next to it. That kind of works too. Or you can wear goggles, or eye protectives and use a sharp knife. And also you can cut by your stove vent, which gets the chemicals absorbed into that too. But for this video, I don't want to turn that on because my vent is really loud and I don't think you want to hear that noise. But anyways, we're going to cut these onions and see. I put the all my onion peels and all of that into, I have a bag of compost that I take out to the compost over there. And so let's see if my eyes are gonna water from this still. Quite a few little onions here. I have more, but this is all I'm gonna do for right now, today. So far, my eyes are not burning. So we'll see. These are the ones I'm gonna crunch up, cut up to put in the freezer. I didn't know for a long time when I was younger that you could do this, and I actually found out from my aunt, Darlene, and my aunt Donna Kay told me that my granny used to do this all the time, and you could just pretty much cut up any, okay, there you go. My eyes are starting to water. Oh, and these are pretty strong onions because when I cut up the ones earlier for the dehydrator, so it helps a little. I have to admit they were really burning and watering more before, but they're still burning. I'm not going to rub my eyes with my hands or anything like that, but yeah. So it helped a little bit, but kind of debunks it a little bit because my eyes are still watering. So another remedy that I read about was, actually this one sounds so ridiculous that I just had to try it, is put a piece of bread in your mouth while you're chopping the onion. So let's give this a try. Okay, this one might have actually worked. My eyes are not watering, and I literally put the onion right in front of my face while I had it on there. So I don't know, you might want to try that one. One of the tips that I heard for helping onions not to make you cry or make your eyes sting is putting it in the freezer for 10 minutes. And I did try that one, and nope, that did not work for me. The next one I'm going to try is, it says to soak it in some water for a few minutes before you cut it. So let's see how this one works. Okay, I just went to the sink and I soaked this in some water for a few minutes, and I'm going to chop it up. So far, so good. Okay, so apparently this one works also. Okay, the other one that I read about was chewing gum while you're cutting the onion. Evidently, it forces you to breathe out of your mouth and not through your nose, so it's supposed to help you not cry while you're cutting the onions. But I literally could not find a piece of gum in my house. I usually have gum everywhere, but I didn't have any today, so I didn't try that one. But I think that one would have been a little distracting, trying to cut your onions and chew your gum and trying not to breathe through your mouth. So I don't know, you could try that one and leave it in the comments and let me know how that one works. So the verdict of all these, I liked the wet paper towel method and the candle method, and the bread in the mouth worked, but I don't think I will be doing that very often when I'm cooking. And so those seem to be the ones that work the best for cutting the onions and the remedy for making your eyes not water. I chopped up some more and I got them ready to go back into my food dehydrator. If you have a freeze dryer, if you're lucky enough to have one of those, you can also freeze dry your onions. And if you don't have a freeze dryer or a dehydrator, you can put these in the oven and cook them also. So while I was chopping up these onions and making a mess over here, I decided to put some in the oven to show you what they look like if you want to dry them in the oven. I would say the food dehydrator, if you're going to just leave them like that, would be better for better for long-term storage. But you could also bake them like this and then freeze them and take them out. I just want to show you all the different ones that we made today in this video. Here's the ones in the oven, which I'm probably going to use those tomorrow in a recipe. These are the dehydrated, and I ended up with 6 bags of onions for the freezer. I guess I would say that this candle or the paper towel, I don't know which one worked, but I chopped all these onions and my eyes are not watering. So I would definitely try the wet paper towel and the candle, the flame, while you're chopping your onions. So I don't know if you guys are sick of watching me talk about onions and cutting onions as I am. I'm tired of cutting onions. So I hope you liked this video and you found it helpful, and thank you for watching.